Hello and welcome to my most massive creation in Kerbal Space Program. This is the K-Star Supreme, a gigantic interplanetary cruiser that is capable to carrying 20 Kerbals somewhere where you want to go. And we take a tour of the interior. This is the command deck with a conference table where the crew can assess the situation and talk about upcoming maneuvers. Right here we have the science deck where we can do some science. And downstairs, because we just jump, who needs ladders anyway, we have the crew quarters with capacity for 20 Kerbals. And right around the corner there are the escape pods. 20 Kerbals, 20 escape pods. No Kerbal is left behind in case of emergency. We will get back to those things in just a little while later. And we're heading back aft. There's another shaft heading up, but we're going even further back to the cargo base. There are two big Mark III cargo bays capable of carrying, for instance, lander craft or some small orbital vehicle or satellites or whatever. And downstairs we are in engineering. Engineering houses the battery packs and the SAS system, all those reaction wheels trying to turn this big behemoth of 1,180 tons. And here I'm trying to get up a ladder, but of course failing. You may wonder why this is so smooth. The reason is I fast forwarded the video to 8 times regular speed, because if you would load this in Kerbal Space Program, your computer would slow down to a halt of about 1 or 2 frames per second, since this monstrosity has 1,717 parts. Yes, that is a lot. And here I had to activate the gravity hack to get away from that ladder onto the observation deck, where we have 2 airlocks where Kerbals can exit the vehicle without compromising hull integrity. And here are the bulkheads to the observation decks, which we have 4, which are basically just those cupolas. And now we're transferring the Kerbal to one of those cupolas, and, well, we put them upside down, which, as a matter of fact, doesn't matter if you're in space, because in space there is neither up or down. And I mentioned before, we're heading back to the escape pods, and yes, they are functional. Lubert Kerman, the brave pilot, is inside of those one of those escape pods, and I'm setting up the staging, and we're trying out this escape pod very soon. But first let's set the gravity back to 0 so he won't crash into the pavement. And here he goes. Lubert Kerman away from the K-Star Supreme, from the big giant cruiser. And as you can see in the top part of the screen, there are 4,800 meters per second of delta V left for each escape pod. Should be enough to get back to Kerbin on ion power. And we launched all escape pods successfully. And yes, here I'm trying to get this to space, of course with the gravity hack enabled, because once I put a real launcher through it, the part count exceeds 2,000, and there is no chance of getting this into orbit the regular way. So yes, I cheated. I also cheat with HyperEdit, so I can get into an orbit in reasonable time for this video. And here we are. Behold the magnificence of the K-Star Supreme at its snail pace of 2 frames per second, which of course have been sped up to a more reasonable frame rate for you to view. And we're opening the solar panel protectors, we're opening solar panels, we're opening the escape pods, we're opening the cargo bay doors, we're opening everything as a matter of fact. And now we're launching the escape pods, one after the other, just to try them out in orbit. And whoopsie daisy! Yes, it wouldn't be Kerbal Space Program if there wouldn't be some kind of big catastrophe.